Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everybody. This is me, Preacher Moss, the host of the SOS, a Shout Out Show. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. I know you have other places you could be, other options. There's so many distractions in the world. I appreciate you dedicating this a little bit of time with me, and I hope to make it worth your while. So, as usual, I want to give thanks and honor to people who are coming to the show. First, the people who are coming to the show for the first time. We appreciate you. Second of all, for the people who have been coming for a while. You know I appreciate you. And we're hopefully going to be able to do something different as we move from show number 76, which is this show, to show number 100, which will be August the 1st. So we're going to be talking about some things we want to do to make sure we have a special 100th show of the Shout Out Show. Brothers and sisters, I did not put a particular banner up today. Some of you know what this show is about. I'm going to be talking about the Ramy show on Hulu. There's a lot of different opinions on the show, Ramy. Some people love it, some people don't love it. I will admit up front that I have not watched the show, but I didn't watch the show for a particular reason. The reason I did not watch the show, brothers and sisters, is because I felt in my heart of hearts that I wanted to make sure that I can predict, that I had an opportunity to predict, which is something we don't do in the Muslim community and the general community in a lot. We don't look at the things that affect us in terms of culture and predict where it's going to take us. I had a prediction that went some time ago that where we are with the Ramy show is where we'd actually be. Only because, and there's no knock on Ramy, the people involved with the show, Mo Ammer, Amir Sugman, these folk I know. But it does appeal to me that they didn't necessarily know the system. Because the same system that delivered Ramy is the same system that didn't allow for other shows to come on. It was the same system that allowed people to move. And one of the traits of this, if you will, is the fact that with the Ramy show, for lack of a better word, it's 2019. It started in 2019. In the year 2000, director extraordinaire from Morehouse College, Spike Lee came out with a movie called Bamboozled. Bamboozled was a textwork piece of cinema. It was a touchstone, and it was immediately forgotten as quickly as it came on the scene. People did not like Bamboozled because it gave you some clues, if you will. It gave you some insight into what Hollywood does with minority images. In this case, it was black images, and if it's black images, then it means, guess what? It's going to be everybody else afterwards. Because the black image is something that's been fought for, it's been argued over, it's gone back and forth. It has a history off the paper, off the script, off the screen, off the radio, and it goes on to this day. We're still in 2020 arguing about the validity of Confederate statues. Well, I'm actually going to be talking about that tomorrow. But what I wanted to do was take you back. I wanted to expand this discussion way before Brother Ramy, because I say this was almost 20 years ago. You know, I don't know how old Ramy is, but he probably wasn't kicking around thinking about a show back then. But for us, people like myself, people like the minister, people like Imam Zayd, people like Imam Siraj Wahaj, people like us remember standing on post, brothers and sisters. And the reason I'm doing this show is because I'm still on post. I am tired of the weak discussion of people trying to normalize shows that you know do nothing for the Muslim identity, Muslim intellectual capacity, and of course, the Muslim lifestyle. And because we become increasingly weak, we have become a situation scenario whereby we explain away things. That's not the nature of this. I'm not saying have a show, have your show. But when people have questions, you better be able to stand on your own 2 feet and answer the questions. I can give you this breakdown of the exec producers on Ramy's show, but I'm not going to do that. I wrote an article to the Muslim Journal last year explaining what I thought when my brother Ramy Youssef got the Golden Globe Awards. I said, Alhamdulillah, I'm happy for him. I want to celebrate his Golden Globe Award, but not for this project because it was problematic. I could see it coming from beforehand. I could see it in the dealings I had, even when I tried to put a show on. Yes, brothers and sisters, I tried to put a show on about Muslims. The name of the show was Here Come the Mohammeds. And I'm going to show you how our community is. People got upset that I used the word Mohammeds, not Muhammad, Mohammeds. And they said, brother, I said, it's the Mohammeds. Like, you can have a Raheem Muhammad, Tory Muhammad. They were like, and I don't hear those people with that same sense of dysfunctionality, disgrace, and displacement talking about this show. And I'm going to tell you why. Because our people these days are so worried about image that they can't speak to anything. They can't speak their truth. Forget the whole idea of changing with your hand, your voice. You're not doing any of that. And the fact of the matter is, in this society, people are so scared of what someone thinks of you, you don't think of yourself. And that's a danger. Let me explain to you what I'm saying. People are so worried about speaking out about shows like Ramy's show. And like I said, I don't have any intention on seeing it because I called it. I'm like a guy who understands basketball at a professional level. I don't have to watch the game. I can look at the players and tell you what the outcome is going to be at a high efficiency, at a high probability. 90, 95%. I could have told you something. I'm going to give you guys a little clue here. Back some time ago, I tried to get support, financial support, community support for a project I called Here Come the Mohammeds, a sitcom, a family sitcom. The idea back then was we needed a Muslim comedy show that was sort of like the Muslim Cosby's. Well, you can't use that these days. But at the point, everybody was really, really happy about it, but nobody supported it. I took it to Most Def. I took it a whole lot of people, and we talked about it. And I finally got it to a person who was in the business and they're professional, and I respected their opinion. And then, there was somebody who could do something. And the guy goes, hey, man, I love the script. It's a funny concept. Da-da-da. I love the theme. Da-da-da-da. He goes, but there's a problem. Well, what's the problem? He goes, where's the gay character? He said, where's the gay character? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, where's the gay character? I was like, well, I don't understand. You got to have the gay character get it on TV. And this is not even bashing LGBTQ, but this is the way Hollywood was thinking. Did I call it right? I don't know, brothers and sisters. I had a scholar reach out to me, upset about an episode on Ramy where, and I can't verify it, but correct me if I'm wrong, one of the characters on the show comes out as gay in the second season. So I'm going to prep my argument a little bit, but I want to show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. So please bear with me, if you will, and I'm going to show you this scene from Bamboozled.
I want a show that will make headlines. The Huxtables, Cosby, a genius, revolutionaries, but we can't go down that road again.
The network does not want to see Negroes on television unless they are buffoons.
Do you ever thought about just quitting?
I have a contract. The only way I get out of that is if I get fired. And that is what I intend to do. I know you're familiar with minstrel shows, variety shows, like in Living Color.
Right. That was dope.
Man Tag, the new millennium minstrel show. We're gonna need a little more money for this.
This could be bigger than Friends, Ally McBeal, even my boys Amos and Andy.
You're putting white actors in blackface.
We're using black actors with blacker faces.
This fall.
Right on, man.
Yeah, great show.
You won't believe what's coming to your television.
Sleep and Eat and Mantan are lazy and unemployed.
Let's go.
But we are certainly not saying anything about the entire African American community.
What's sweeping the nation. And what's colored. The way you see the world.
Yo, we can't let this injustice go by, man. Not this time, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
You notice that everybody white want to be black. I'm out.
Raise them up. They all act like sound better.
When are you going to come into the light?
The light.
The light.
Your hands are just as bloody as mine.
Cousin, I want you all to go to your windows. You talking about revolution. Go to your windows and yell out, I am not gonna take it anymore!
I don't want anything to do with anything black for at least a week.
That was heavy. That was heavy. I think of that every time I'm looking at a Muslim show these days, Muslim comedians these days, Muslim television, things like that. I used to look at it even with the news and how Muslims were framed. And he said something. That situation, the breakdown of Bamboozled is that you have a young writer at a startup. This sounds crazy. A young writer at a startup network. The startup network's ratings are failing. This young writer ideally wants to write stories about Black life, Black family. Nothing works. He's fed up with the station. He decides, I'm going to write the most ridiculous, profane thing I could write. They're going to fire me. He says, I can't quit because if I quit, they're going to sue me. I'm going to write the most profane things, just like the producers, the most profane thing I can do. He submits it to them, and the network loves it. They love it. And it becomes the #1 show on the network. Did you see what I just showed you? People in blackface, tap dancing, skin, tap dancing, pickaninnies, all the things that are derogating about Black folk and tied into the suppression, oppression of Black people and white supremacy throughout. And it's in a TV show. Brothers and sisters, in a TV show. And the killer part is, he thought he could change the system. Just like some of these shows believe they can change the system. No, the system lets you think you can change the system, and that's when they got you. It's the oldest bait and hook in the world. That's when they have you. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, as consumers of this stuff, we're in the same situation. Stop lying, thinking, oh, you know what? It's an image award. It's an image of what? It's an image of what? Sometimes, brothers and sisters, you gotta take the silver spoon out of your mouth and stop trying to normalize this stuff. This is real life stuff. There's a reason why people are having protests. Because a Black man died, because Black people got tired, brothers and sisters. And you know why? You know why? Because we allow this type of thing. We make it normal. Even now that George Floyd is gone, we still see people in videos and all these things, body cams, being brutalized. It hasn't stopped. Even this is a game, brothers and sisters. Even this is a game. And I'm going to tell you something about Hollywood, folks. Because Hollywood is representative of white supremacy. I'm going to tell you about Hollywood. I'm going to tell you about white supremacy in the same sentence. Neither one of them want to admit when they lost. They never want you to know the people that beat them. They never want you to know the people who were smarter than them and actually thought a little bit faster, a little bit smarter, a little bit more consistently. They never introduce you to those people. Now, my UK mom is listening. I'm going to tell this story. Mom, I don't want you to think badly of me, but I'm just going to, I'm going to be real. Let me tell you about how white supremacy does anybody who is not white. Actually, Mom probably knows this. I'm going to give you a story. Pay close attention to this story, because it's almost about how you hold your religion, how you hold on to your core values. There's a story in a book. There's a book, it's called Monster. It was about an LA gangbanger named Monster Cody Scott. Sankia Shakur became Muslim while he was in prison. Allah preserve him. I hope he's out. But he tells this story, and I never forget it. Because in essence, this is what a lot of these guys go through when they trying to get the shows, when they're trying to get on, we're trying to get shows, trying to get paid or whatever. The rappers go through it too, because we don't own our industry. But let me say this. The story goes that he was in prison and he was on a cell block with his guys who were, they were Bloods. They were all together. No, they were Crips. They were all together on, and they ran across a guy from an imposing gang. They realized that he was on their block. And so, the die was cast. They were going to beat this guy out, stomp him out, whatever. So they went to the guy. They finally got him. They're about to beat him up. They're about to let him have it. And they go to the brother and say, well, whoa. He says, you got two options. The guy goes, what's option number one? He said, well, you can get stomped out. He goes, well, what's option number two? The guy talking takes a cup, urinates in the cup, puts it on the floor, and he says, drink the urine. The brother drank the urine. Now, here's the sad part. They beat him up anyway. Because there's more to the story than you just got beat up. But you gave it up that easy. It was that easy for me to compromise even the most base things. And that's what we see on television today. So this is not some long, drawn-out conversation about, I don't like Ramy. I'm like, listen, I'm a lifer in this game. I'm telling you, because these shows, when they lose, when they run out of ideas, and I told people after the first season, people were complaining and upset, but they were cute. Oh, it's funny, but it's dirty. Whatever. I said to stay on the air, you got to be even more extreme. So this year, I'm hearing, I didn't look at it myself, I'm hearing, but I predicted it, I'm hearing that they now have a gay character on Ramy. And I looked at Hulu, because Hulu bears some responsibility. And brothers and sisters, hold Hulu responsible. Because I'm not giving Hulu my money for this. But Hulu in the listing says it's a young Egyptian on a spiritual journey. You know what they don't say? Muslim and Islam. Say it. Muslim and Islam. He's a Muslim on an Islamic journey, and here all the things that's going on in this journey. Hey, everybody, take a look at it. Do you agree? Hell no, you don't agree. Most of you are like me. I want to see our brothers successful. Absolutely. But damn, don't give up your core values. Sorry, brothers and sisters. If you're in that jail cell, just take the whooping. Take the whooping. Leave the urine on the floor. So all I'm beginning to say here, and I'm moving forward. But as you watch Bamboozled, what I liked about the movie, and I'm going to say that I wrote for Damon Wayans. That was my first writing job in Hollywood. And what Damon Wayans told me was, I'm not going to ask you to be anything other than yourself. He knew I was Muslim. He thought I was funny. And that was the best part of that relationship. I didn't have to give up my core values. But in the movie Bamboozled, this young guy came up with an idea. He came up with the worst idea in the hopes that it would get him fired. These days, we have brothers and sisters coming from our community who, for lack of a better word, come with the worst idea, hoping they can get greenlit on the worst idea. Am I wrong to say it? Hell no. I was at an event, a Muslim comedy festival in New York that shall remain nameless, but I met the founder at an ISNA conference. He and I were talking. He and I are cool. But let me tell you how badly this thing has gone, brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell you how badly this has gone. I was scheduled, if you will, and I'm going to give a shout out. Reed, that fool was banging. I fell asleep. I felt like a heroin addict. All right. Umar, what's up, brother? And I'm going to give a shout out. This is my shout out. This is Sergeant, my brother, and Mom. I call Mama Varda, the Varda crew. Give them a shout out. In the UK, they always take care of me. Much love. But I was about to do this comedy special, or not the comedy special, forgive me. I was supposed to do this comedy festival, and I was excited to go back the second year, and I saw the guy, and you always want to make sure you're on the bill or whatever. And so I brothers and sisters, I went to the website for for the Muslim Comedy Fest, this festival, if you will. And I went through it to see what night I'd be performing because I'm trying to figure out hotels. This happens. And the strangest thing, I couldn't even believe it. This is why you got to open your mouth, brothers and sisters, and say what it is. This is why, you know what? That last show, a couple shows back, I said, you got to pull out your old grumpy black men because old grumpy black men have a rule. They have a purpose. You can't say old grumpy women because that's not it. They just queens. We can't call like queens grumpy. That's you're going to get hurt with that. But for this festival that's supposed to be celebrating Muslim comedic excellence and talent, the first night was listed as Halal Night. It was a showcase of Muslim comedians, halal, clean, alhamdulillah. The second night was Haram Night. Did you hear what I said? Haram Night, where Muslim comedians get together and let it all hang out. Haram Night. I was mortified to the point I did something I normally don't do. Actually, I did. I showed some restraint. But I told the brother, and I made, I guess it's a threat. It wasn't a physical threat, but it was a threat that could become physical. I told the brother, I said, listen, man, first of all, you can't do it. I said, second of all, I won't let you do it. I said, brother, I don't know how close you are to your religion. I don't know how often you and Allah speak, if you speak at all. And I'm not a scholar, but damn it, I know that you can't have a halal night and then a haram night. I said, do you know what haram is? Do you know the provocation for haram? You ain't supposed to advertise it, fool. Not only are you doing it, you're provoking it, you're promoting it. And I was to the point, brothers and sisters, I told him, I said, if you do this, not only will I not appear, I will invoke OG Muslim status, and I will make sure everybody knows that you're trying to promote a haram night, and anybody that goes to that thing, I will call them out. I will bring down the forces of every community, Indian, Pakistani, African. I will call the nation to come stand in front of that joint if you do a haram night. And brothers and sisters, he didn't do haram night. But he did do a night when Muslims got on stage and they cursed and they used profanity, and it just wasn't what it was. They waited till I left. I'm not saying they punks or sissified, but they punks and sissified. Do it in front of me. And I'm going to say this to these shows. Stop selling out Muslim audiences. Stop selling out Muslim sensibility. Because you get in these rooms, brothers and sisters, and they say, it's a spiritual journey of an Egyptian. It's a Muslim talking about Islam. Call it what it is. I'll give Hassan Minhaj way more credit because at least he's open about it, what he's saying. And while it may not be preferable, it may not be flavorful, he might make mistakes, he owned up to it. That guy called me and said, hey, I made a mistake. I always have respect for him. But for you brothers and sisters that get in these little rooms, like you saw in Bamboozled, and pitch into the man, telling them, oh, the black folk are going to love it, the Muslims are going to love it, and we're going to do this, knowing damn well we're not going to love it, you need to stop. You need to stop. Because these people, they got you. It's because they know if they give you a show, they know you're worried about your own. Your own. When I say your own, there's an old joke, brothers and sisters. Old Jewish joke. They said, how do you keep a Jew out of the country club? You hire one and he keeps the rest out. And that's what you guys are doing with these little funky shows. If you don't mind my language, funky shows. So pardon me if I ain't all lovey-dovey about it. Get your money, get your chips. You know what? But for where I come from, okay, I would rather cut people's grass, brothers and sisters. I'd rather cut people's grass, wash cars, just to keep my integrity on a day of judgment because I'm sick of this. You're sellouts. And if you have a problem with me, listen, you can call me, you can text me, whatever you want to do. Hey, you want to get jiggy with it? Hey, look, I'm 53 years old, but I ain't afraid to rumble. You may get me, but damn it, I may get you. And I'm telling folks, because our children are watching, I can't even look at TV anymore. They're worried about going to school, being picked on, and here you are making a mockery of this religion. I said making a mockery of this religion because I got it from a scholar, and he said it's a mockery. And if you guys think that is not, damn you, I don't care. Now, you done woke up an old grumpy black man, and I could care less. You know what? Because I'm going to tell you, like I told you, brothers and sisters, these people don't like to tell you who beat them, the people who won. And these folks doing these shows, getting these shows, they want to make sure that you don't win because that's the game. You want me to tell you who won in the black community? I'm going to tell you some folks who walked away. They didn't play the game, and they're superstars. One is Oprah Winfrey. The other one, and I have immense respect for this man, is Dave Chappelle. He walked away. He walked away. He said, I don't want to get it that way. And when he came back, he doubled what he was supposed to get. He doubled what they offered him. And now nobody can touch him. If he can do it, you can do it too. So without further ado, brothers and sisters, I may say that I've had a wonderful time. I feel blessed, but I'm telling you, I am a little bit perturbed. I'm normally a happy guy. But okay, let's call it what it is. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I ain't going to be no punk. And I ain't gonna be no sissy. And anybody who wants to go on, I'm actually gonna, there's a little talk seminar about the Ramy show. It is FB Pillars, Facebook.com Pillars, whatever it is. I don't know. Look it up. Oh, Pillars Fun /live. I'm going there for the 30 minutes I can go there, and I'm going to listen and I'm going to observe. Because I don't want to be in a situation where I told you guys something different. Because I told you guys I didn't watch the show, but I told you I predicted what it was going to be like. I don't know if I'm happy that the predictions came through because honestly, I wanted to be wrong. I wasn't. Allah knows best. Allah is God. Keep it simple. I'll see you guys at another time. And oh, brothers and sisters, remember this. Don't mess around and get bamboozled.